Alright, so a video just went viral from an altercation that occurred in November where a Karen racially profiled a black man as he was walking to his own house, told him that she didn't think the house was his, and she ran off screaming for help, claiming that she was being chased. Ain't nobody chasing this woman. I'm afraid D.L. Hewley was right.
Here's the thing. The most dangerous place for black people to live is in white people's imagination.
But let's continue the video. Ain't that a... Where do I start?
We need you. What's going on?
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing here?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. She got somebody chased her up here, and she had kids.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in a silver
in
truck.
a gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't
and
know if you guys have a
I was
reading.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" And I said, "Nope." And then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah.
This guy,
He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
she got all worried that she said,
Scared the crap out of me.
How?
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
How did he scare you,
I
though?
had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody? Because I was pulling up out
And I
home.
saw someone walking in our driveway, too. And I'm like, why is someone walking in our driveway?
Well, I'm
Well, there
sorry.
we got it. All right, sorry.
She said that someone was following her. So you were walking from there?
You came this way, didn't you?
No, I came down this street right here.
Yeah.
And I was riding slow because I'm looking at our Christmas lights.
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
And you said, I don't think you do.
It was obviously you could tell that I was really caught off guard.
Like, I'm pulling in my... It's like I'm pulling in my house. Like, this is not... This neighborhood is probably one of the best neighborhoods in Ohio.
It is.
I don't... You don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Well, I'm very sorry. I really hope that you're not upset with me.
Come on, babe. Go in the house.
I-
Let's go.
You told me that I didn't. You said you didn't think I live here.
It was
That-
the way that you were talking. I was so caught off guard. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so this is how everything transpired. The woman, Michelle Bishop, was taking a walk late at night with her infant and her toddler daughter, it seems like, just a young kid. I really don't even want to fault her for that, but like, I would not take my kids out just for a late night walk around any neighborhood. I don't care, like super duper late at night. We in the house chilling. I don't want to go outside. It's cold, like chilling in the house, yo. But she's walking with her kids and she happens to walk in front of DeMichael Jenkins' house. At the same time that she is walking in front of his house, Michael Jenkins is pulling up to his house in his truck, going home from doing whatever he was doing with his life. And in the process of pulling into his driveway, he decided to admire his Christmas lights. It was November. They had probably just put their Christmas lights up. And so he's looking at his lights, driving slow, like, wow, we really did that. And I don't know what this woman do. She could have easily just kept walking down the sidewalk, cut a corner, cross the street, because they live on a corner house apparently. But for some reason, she was there long enough for him to pull into his driveway and get out of his car. Apparently, she was in his driveway because she was spooked out and she was trying to get as close as possible to the house. And when she finally moved, he parked in his driveway. She parks in his driveway and she walks up to his front door, like posting out there thinking that he's about to be a predator and come snatch her and her kids up. He gets out of his car and he's like, are you looking for somebody? And she all like, do you live here? He proceeds to say, yes, I do live here. Why this lady, her response to that was, I don't believe you. So he's getting out of his car. He's walking up to his front door. This lady grabs her baby out of the stroller, pushes it to the side and tells her child to run with her down the street, down the alley, wherever they was at. And she's screaming, yelling, help. Can you imagine walking to your own house and somebody tells you that you don't live there and treating you like you don't belong there and running away from you like you're some type of criminal, some type of predator, some type of murderer, some type of rapist? Like, I wonder what was going through his mind at that time. So the lady runs screaming for help and DeMichael walks into his house because that's what he was doing. He was going home, trying to end his day off. Before she left, she rang the doorbell to try and get the attention of whoever lived there. And I'm like, he says that he lived there. Even if he was lying, why would you stay in the area that he says he lives, go ring the doorbell, knock on the door, and like he says that he's going to that area and you're trying to get away from him? I don't know what goes through people's heads. I just cannot understand it. Clearly, this was a white woman and a black man, hence why I'm talking about Karen's racially profiling people. But even besides that, this is like a case of false allegations. This man was made to be out somebody that he was not. After she ran, she called the police and her husband. And as you saw in the video clip, her and her husband pulled up to the front door to see what was going on. And lo and behold, the man walked out of the house with his wife, and his wife had to tell her,
That's my husband. That's why he lives here.
and when she saw his face, he was more so probably distraught at the fact that a white lady was sitting in front of his house telling him that he did not live in the house that was in fact his. Not only does he live there, he actually built the house. He designed the house. Everything about the house has his hand all over it. People are crazy. She's like, I'm so sorry. You have to understand where I'm coming from. But it's like, stay your ass in the house if you so scared. If any dude walks by at night, like, you start screaming, running, screaming help. You know how dangerous that is? And her husband's a complete douchebag. Like, I didn't like anything that he said in the video. The very small amount of words that he did say. Even dropping the racial profiling. Like, you cannot make dudes out to be something that they are not just because you are too scared to take a walk outside and see them also living in the same world that you live in. It's already crazy because it already seems like, oh, you saw a black dude in the neighborhood that you live in and you just couldn't believe it. He just could not belong there. But that's like half the issue. It's a dude. You can't be out here screaming help when dudes ain't doing nothing to you. You could literally get somebody killed. You can get somebody in jail. If she had a gun, if she had any type of weapon, her fear would have gotten him killed. She would have definitely tried to kill him and probably succeeded. He actually seemed like a very kind of soft-spoken dude. He didn't seem like he was some hard guy. You know what I mean? He didn't seem like an aggressive man. In the video, after everything happened and they finally spoke, she tried to lie about like most of the details of what happened, why she ran, what the dude was doing. Like, she lied. Now Michelle and her husband go home. The police come to DeMichael Jenkins and his family's door. Can you imagine not doing anything but coming home and all of a sudden you got police coming to your door because your neighbor's an idiot? That happens. And Michelle Bishop decides to go on her Instagram live and talk about what had just happened. And she made this man out to be lousy. She said that he sounded aggressive. She said that he chased her. She said all this crap. Blatantly lied on the man. The Ring doorbell footage had not been out at this point, but DeMichael's wife decided to post it to their neighborhood community page on Facebook. Before she released the footage, she had reached out to her HOA and told them about the incident that occurred. And that's when all hell broke loose for Michelle Bishop, because everybody found out she was lying, she was a Karen, and most of all, she is mental. People started going crazy on Michelle, calling her a racist, calling her crazy, going after her business, going after her family, just talking all types of crap to her. And I mean, I get it. You lied. the truth was revealed. You can't do that and expect for nobody to not feel some type of way. Now, let's get this straight. Whether it was racial profiling or whether it was false accusations against men, no question about it. She was wrong. She was out of her mind. She was trying to take something that did not happen and turn it into the fact of the matter. I don't know how else to say it. That is mental. And she completely lacks accountability about the situation.
He says, "This is my house." And I said, "I don't think that it is." And at that point, the only reason that I said that was because truly the awkward encounter of slowing up behind me, talking to us multiple times. I'm in this frantic state. It's late at night. I got my kids, my 2 babies. The lady at the door is not answering. There's no other homes that are well established. I mean, there's construction. It's a corner house. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm on the front porch. This truck literally is halfway up the driveway. And I was like, my radar was like, nope, I don't think that this is your house. And so I said, I don't believe that this is your house. And so I'm starting to unbuckle Cash, and I grab and I freak. I go, "Rory, run."
It looked like somebody flicked her in the forehead. Like, why would you do that? You asked if he lived there and he said he did. There was no reason for you not to believe that he didn't live there. And you walk up to the house that he says he lives at and ring the doorbell hoping the owner comes out, and he's standing right in front of you. How crazy he must have felt. I would have been so pissed off, and I would have just told that woman, please leave before I have to call the police on you.
I've never, ever screamed the way that I screamed. And I'm running through the front yards of everybody, praying that the Ring doorbell would capture us. Finally, to get to a woman's house, I'm bang on the door. And at this point, I'm dialing 911, and I said, "Can I please come in?" And the woman said, "Yes, come in." And so I'm staying there, I'm talking to the sheriff, and more than anything, I was not looking for him to come to my rescue at this point. My husband was going to come. I'm in this woman's house. The door is closed. And I tell the man, he said, "Do I need to come out?" And I just said, "No." I said, I was just calling to let you know that this just happened. My husband's going to come get me. And, he says, he asked me if I want him to come out, and I said no.
That did not happen. You don't call the police, tell them, "Hey, I just want to let you guys know this is happening, but you don't have to come out," and you're scared for your life. You don't do that. She's lying. That was a blatant lie. I don't even know why she said that. She was trying to get the police and her husband out to inflict damage upon that man's skull. Or get him arrested. Either one. She's lying.
And so the woman then, I was at her house, she literally asked me and said, she said, "I don't know how to ask this." She goes, "But was it a black man?" Because she goes, "It's a black family that lives there." And I said, "No, I believe that this is a white man. He was a white man in a truck. A young white man is what I said." And she said, "Okay." She goes, "Because that's a black family that lives there." And I said, "No, I don't think that it was a black man." And then when my husband got there, I stood out front, and we're still trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me talking to my husband. But he asked me again, he said, "What house was it?" And I said, "It was this house right here." And he goes, "Are you sure it wasn't a black guy?" He goes, "Because that's a black family." And I said, "No, I don't believe that it was a black man."
2 more lies, and I'm going to tell you why. In the Ring doorbell footage at the Michael Jenkins house, you can see when he finally steps out and reveals that he does in fact live there, she recognized him immediately. She thought it was a black dude. She saw a black man get out of his truck, and she saw a black man come out of his house. She knew he was black. Whatever she's talking about, she is lying. And also, this Ring doorbell footage of her and her husband at their house has yet to be released. You want to know why? Because it either does not exist, or she already said, "Hey, it's a black guy outside." She's lying, bro. The Michael Jenkins was about to become Emmett Till.
And so we get in the car, and we go to pick up the stroller. He gets out of the car, and he goes up to the woman's house, and a woman comes out onto the front porch, and she says something along the lines like, did you forget something or did you leave something? And John laughs and he's like, yes, we did. I'm so sorry. And I get out of the car and I walk up to the woman, and I could not tell her fast enough what had happened. Like she walks out on the porch and I jump out of the car and I said, oh my gosh, yes, there was a man. And John was the one that said a man was following her, chasing her, following her is what I said. I used the word chasing, following me. And,
Listen to her language. Nobody chased her. Y'all saw the footage of her running. Nobody was behind her. She did something wrong and she wants to be the victim. I'm gonna play her being quote unquote chased one more time.
So she said, I jumped out of the car and I said, I'm so sorry. I said, literally, I was pretending that your house was my house. I was walking up the driveway, and then I was like turning in. I was pretending that it was yours. And she goes, yeah, that was my husband. And so he ends up coming out and he's like, I told you this was my house. And at that point, I literally started, I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I am so sorry. And I told him, I said, I'm so sorry. And then, I said, this is your house. That was my words. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, this is your house. I said, I truly kept thinking like, maybe this is his house. Maybe this is his house. And he says, well, I told you this was your house. And I said, you have to understand. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was such an awkward encounter. I said, the truck was like starting to slow behind me, and I'm out here with my little girl and my son. And I said, I'm a mom, and it was dark. And he said, but I told you that this was my house. He says, I was driving slow because I was looking at my Christmas lights. And once again, I said, I am so sorry. And they truly, they did not take my apology. And so I'm sitting at home, literally like having this meltdown. And I kept telling John, I was so sorry. Like I felt really stupid. And, so on the way home, I forgot to say that the cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I'm getting all these messages. I'm so sorry. The cop was driving around our neighborhood, and I stopped him. We stopped him, and I jumped over, rolled the window down, and I said, I am so sorry. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, it was his house. It was a misunderstanding. I'm so sorry. He was like, it's okay. I'm glad everything's fine. I was like, yes, it's fine. So I ended up, we went home.
She didn't call the cops on these black people simply for living. That gotta be the craziest thing, bro. Oh my God. Send her to a psych ward.
And that night when I got home, I had tears and I was making a cup of coffee. And if you guys know me, I put everything on Instagram. I talk all the time. It was an innocent mistake. I felt really stupid. I absolutely was crushed I felt like they thought I was stupid. I already felt stupid. I truly felt stupid.
They didn't feel like you was just stupid. They feel like you racist.
Like I said to them on the porch, like I kept thinking like maybe this is his house. And then like I'm running and screaming at the top of my lungs. And so yeah, like I felt dumb for sure. So I went on Instagram in my story. I still have it archived, and I like have tears and I'm making a cup of coffee. And I said, I was like, man, you like talk about a night. I'm like, man, my night just completely took a left turn. And I was like, super scary. I was like, I'll have to fill you guys in later. So I went live that night. And then I went live again the next morning. It wasn't until about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little less than that John was sitting in the living room. And he called me, the day prior, and he asked me a question about, did you ever say like, he said, did you tell the woman that he was black? And I said, no, I told her that I thought he was a young white man. He's like, I thought so. And I was like, that was really weird that he called and asked me that. So the next morning I was doing my morning reading, and he sits down in front of me and he's like, we have to talk. And so, he told me that there had been a letter floating around our neighborhood, that had been posted in our, mailroom that had said, something about a racist profiling in the neighborhood.
Here's the flyer. Let's read it together. It has come to our attention that actions of a racist and judgmental nature occurred within our community in late November, and the Jenkins family on Maple were the victims of this prejudice. With the Jenkins approval, many families have come together to support them and want to make it absolutely clear that such behavior is neither welcome nor reflective of the values that this neighborhood stands for. Our community is one that prides itself on being inclusive, diverse, and welcoming to all individuals, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or background. We believe in creating an environment where everyone can live, work, and thrive without fear of judgment or prejudice, let alone police intervention for people merely driving into the neighborhood or pulling into their own driveways. These recent actions of racial profiling are not representative of the spirit of our neighborhood and will not be tolerated. If you are a person of any creed, color, religion, or identity, know that you are safe here. We stand united in fostering a place of mutual respect, understanding, and support for one another. Discriminatory behavior has no place in our community, and we are committed to holding each other accountable for maintaining a respectful and inclusive environment. We ask that we all work together to ensure that this neighborhood remains a welcoming, safe, and supportive place for everyone. Thank you for your attention and cooperation. Sincerely, concerned neighbors and stakeholders.
And so, of course, you throw racism into the mix, it gets really yucky. And that was the furthest thing from what it was, to the point of literally, we have a handwritten letter from the woman's house that I went to. I'm trying to get the Ring doorbell footage of me standing on the porch telling John when he asked, you know, are you sure it wasn't a black man? And I said, I think it is a young white man. But she wrote a letter. She was like, I'm happy to speak on your behalf. You absolutely told me that you thought it was a white man. And so we had 2 days in a row, the letter was posted in the mailroom saying that there was a racist profiling, not mentioning our name, but it was in reference to that night.
The Ring footage that she supposedly has does not exist. She is yapping. She double majored in yapology and yaponomics. She is not saying anything that is truthful. That's her side of the story. 90% of that I don't believe. I don't know what the heck she's talking about. We have video footage of her lying about what happened, acting like a complete lunatic and racially profiling and kind of falsely accusing a man of being something that he's not. It's all there. Next thing I'd like to show you are Karen tears. But more importantly, this was the time for her to have some accountability for real. And she just really did not have any. She doesn't feel like she did anything wrong. It actually pains her to say that she was wrong.
I had to make my pages private. On one of the videos of us talking about opening our store, there were over 360 comments, some of which absolutely were from our members, but I would say over 300 of them within a 10-minute span were from people coming to absolutely attack us, saying anything and everything you can imagine, from hating on my faith, tying that to racism and me not being who I say I am, to my family, to be on a lookout, to our business is destroyed, to you can imagine everything that's being said, to our direct messages, to my friends and members being messaged saying that I'm a racist, going as far as saying that I was trying to have a black man killed.
You may not have said directly that you wanted him dead, but your actions say otherwise, Karen. Bro, I hate when people cry. Like, I cannot stand that. I think that she's actually obtuse to the fact that you really could have had this dude killed. You were literally saying that he was chasing you. We all live completely different lives, and it is insane. I don't know. People don't get it.
That was commented a few times. To people texting me personally, calling me a racist pig. Our direct messages, our other businesses, Crave is being attacked, and every business platform, my Facebook ratings, everything is being attacked right now. So, everybody keeps asking for a public apology, and I wanted to get ahead of it. I don't want to just stay quiet, but I did shut my pages to private. I've explained to my Instagram exactly what I'm explaining to y'all. I absolutely am so sorry that I didn't think more of how they possibly could have felt in the moment and my reaction. I'm not trying to play the victim. Very few people have truly said they can't, putting themselves in my shoes, and it does make me angry. It does, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm trying to be so slow to speak. And I have said multiple times how stupid I felt. I even looked at him, like I said, when he came out on the porch. And I said, oh my gosh, this was your house. And I said, I kept thinking to myself, what if this is his house?
But pulling up behind me, whether it's to look at your Christmas lights or not, I didn't know that. All I knew was it was dark. I had my kids. You're talking to me. You're continuing to talk to me. Now you're backing in this driveway. And then I asked if it was his house. And he said, yeah. I didn't believe it at that point. This was getting so awkward. I just continued to feel like I was getting pursued more and more. It had nothing to do with the color of his skin. He could have been purple, orange, whatever. He was a man in a truck pursuing me. The tone of his voice was not welcoming or comforting at all. And so, yes, I panicked. Did I overreact? I don't think so.
Shorty made it awkward. He pulled it up to his crib. Like, stay inside, bro. I would have straight up told my wife, you can never go outside past 5 p.m. ever again because you are a complete liability. You are a danger to society, shorty. You need to never, ever, ever walk out when the sun goes down. When it's setting, get your ass in the house. When the street lights come on, you in the house. I don't ever, ever, ever want to see you outside. And if I do catch you outside and it's just a little bit of darkness, I gotta cut you loose. Like, you gotta get out of here. He was not pursuing you, bro. Like, you're making him seem like he's a predator. You're making him seem like he's a murderer. He's a rapist. And what's that one video?
I wouldn't fuck you with somebody else's dick. Shut up.
He wasn't even aggressive. He was just speaking to you. He said, are you looking for somebody? He said, yes, I do live here, when you asked if he lived there. And when you said, I don't believe you, he asked, well, what are you doing here? That's not even like aggressive. It's just, what are you doing on my property? Telling me that I don't belong on my property. What is wrong with you? And he was honestly like pretty calm. I didn't hear any type of aggression in his voice, more so confusion. And then you say you don't think you overreacted. You literally ran down the street screaming help, called the police on him and your husband. And then you lied and tried to say that he was chasing you. You told the police officer, don't come check on the situation, but you called them. Like, that doesn't even make sense. You lied and said that he didn't say that was his house when he very clearly said, I told you, I do live here. And now you lying and saying that he was aggressive. I believe you full of shit. Oh man, oh man. Thank goodness for cameras, because she could have spun this a completely different way if it was not for Ring doorbell cameras. Shout out to y'all. Personally, I do think it was a bit of racial profiling. I think it was a bit of, seeing men as predators. You know what I'm saying? Women can be outside at night. It's fine. If you're a man outside at night, you're immediately looked at as a threat. It's been that way since before I was born, and it's gonna be that way forever. Realize that this is the way the world works. Men and women are not the same. And this woman created a whole mess in her head that led to her own downfall. Her businesses are going to take a hit. Her family is going to take a hit. Her character is taking a massive hit. Now, do I feel like she deserves to just, fail in life now because of the situation? No. But I do understand a bit of the outrage, especially with the fact that she's a liar and she kind of doesn't see where she's wrong. She's very obtuse, in my opinion. I think that she doesn't understand that she is trying to make herself a victim. I don't think that if it would have come out that she was making stuff up and lying, she would be up here crying on camera in front of everybody, But that's just what I think. Let me know what y'all think about this, though. I don't really feel bad for her. I feel for the Michaels family because, dog, you're just trying to chill at home and you got all these problems coming your way. I don't know, get the police called on you, get a woman screaming, running from your house, yelling help. You get a husband who's a douchebag walking up and he talking about,
I'm so sorry.
after his wife is clearly like a lunatic. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. A lot of BS. But let me know what y'all think about this. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. And I will be back with another one soon.